Today we have personal finance expert and my good friend joining us back, Jade Warshaw. So Jade's new book, What No One Tells You About Money, is out January 6th. It's on pre-order now. And you guys, she has an amazing story and this book is such an incredible gift. So I can't wait for you guys to hear this conversation that I had with Jade around this book and just the ideas around all the emotions in money because it is so, so important. So here it is. Well, Jade, thanks so much for being on again.
Absolutely.
It's always so fun to talk to you. You know, when we talk about money, because we do stuff together a lot, whether it's hosting the show or events, you know, the tactical side of money, people want to know. They want to know about like how to invest and how to budget and all that's really important. But something that I feel like we touch on, even as Ramsey, but now I feel like you even more specifically now, talk about the emotions behind money. It's not just numbers. It is the emotions. So like for you, when did you realize that? Because I think it's a big part of handling money that people don't talk about.
It is a big part. You know, you get the plan and then, you know, Dave's famous words are the change, right?
That's right. And you change what you're doing.
Yeah, and you want to do that because you're seeing this wonderful plan laid out. It's so logical and you go, yeah, of course, $1,000 saved. That makes sense. You know, pay off my debt, smallest start. It makes sense logically. Yes. And then when you get to working it, you realize, oh, there's a lot more to this that I did not account for.
Yes.
And so when Sam and I were in the middle of paying off our debt, you know, almost $500,000, I realized I was coming against these barriers and it wasn't numbers related. It was about the way I was feeling about actually working the plan.
Yes, 100%. Right? Yeah.
You know, when you start, the truth is it's tough when somebody says, hey, stop getting your nails done. We feel that when somebody says, hey, stop going out to eat. Maybe you're used to doing a Sunday family dinner every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
We feel that in our emotions. If somebody says something simple, something as simple as don't spend your money on the things that you'd like to spend your money on when you've been working hard to be able to have a certain lifestyle, we feel that.
Yes.
And we have to combat the urge that says, wait a second, I deserve this. I've been working hard. I deserve to spend money when I want to spend it on.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can't spend it on this. I need to spend it on my smallest debt. There's emotion associated with that. And it takes time to be able to kind of sideline that and actually get to the thing that we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, 100%. Because we're not robots. We're not going to just like push through and just like type in the code and everything's fine.
Right.
We are people handling and we're going to have different emotions. So for you mentioned you and Sam, you guys paid off. Yeah, was it $460,000?
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, for you, what were like some of the high points, emotions during that process? And then what were times that you were like, oh yeah, no, that was hard?
I mean, obviously the highest point was when you're at the end, you're at the finish line paying it off. But throughout that, yeah, I experienced a lot of frustration because the truth is when you're working a plan like the Ramsey plan, there is a lot of nuance and there's a lot of detail. And there's generally a time horizon of, you know, 2 to 3 years, depending on who you are. For us, it was 7.5 years. And so throughout that time, it's like, wait a second, I've paid off the debt. What am I supposed to do now? Or what does the plan say about changing your withholding? And you're forgetting things.
Yes.
And because of that, you start doing things incorrectly. Mm-hmm. And that costs you time. And so I experienced some frustration on that end.
Makes sense.
You know, trying to listen to the show to figure out what did Dave say about the insurance, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's different because we have the new every dollar. But back then it was frustrating, you know. Then there's like the shame around past mistakes that you've made and trusting yourself again to be able to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
And then there's the anger of sometimes it's like John Deloney would say, it's not by my hand, but it's in my lap. And I'm having to deal with this financial thing that I didn't cause.
But it's here. It's my reality.
Here.
Yeah.
You know, for some of us, it's student loans. My parents took out these loans. They said it was okay. And now I'm the one having to pay it back. That's unfair.
Yeah.
Right. So there's the anger and there's just so much that we face. But I feel like if you can get to a point of acceptance, then you can start to win.
Yes, I love that. And I think, you know, for you, the story that you guys walked through is so real. It's so honest. Mm-hmm. And I love that you kind of put a lot of that together in your new book, which I'm so excited about, What No One Tells You About Money. And currently right now it's on pre-sale, but it's about to be out. It's so exciting because I think when people have the ability to hear people's stories, which you've done such a great job. The team was even talking about it. Like, we laughed, we cried, you know. But you do a great job storytelling throughout it. So tell me, number one, why did you want to write this? And the story element is so unique, which I love. What caused you to like go down that path?
Yeah, well, my favorite books are story driven. And so I saw the opportunity there. A lot of times self-help books can be very repetitive. They can be boring. And I did not want to write that, Rachel. So writing this through the lens of Sam and I's story, you're going to hear the story from beginning to end. Yeah. And there's things in this book that I've never said out loud, which is one of the reasons it's called What No One Tells You About Money, because it is completely raw and real. Yeah. You will laugh in this book. The first story is is absolutely ridiculous. And then there's stories in it that will make you probably cry.
Yeah.
I cried writing it. And so it was very therapeutic. But I wrote the book because I know the way it feels when it's almost like there's an incongruency between what you want to do and what you're actually doing.
Yes.
And that can wear you down because it's like, I want to get debt free so bad. I want to take control of my money so bad. What is the problem? It's like Taylor Swift. Is it me?
Yeah, right.
The problem.
Yes.
And when you figure that out, it's like, okay, what do I do with this? What is this called? Do you want to have some sort of vocabulary around what you're experiencing?
Yes.
And you want the tools to fix it, and this is going to give you both.
You know, that's so smart because I feel like even other books I've read or even like some therapy that I've done, whatever it is, when people can give you a language.
Yes.
And that's what resonates with people. Like you say something and it's like, that's it. That's exactly how I'm feeling. I don't know why. And you're kind of caught in your own brain at times where you're like, I can't even get out of my own mind. But to hear someone or read something that someone else is saying and it's putting words to it, I think is so powerful.
Yeah.
And you talk through, again, the emotional side of money, I think is obviously a big premise of this book, but there's 6 specific emotions.
Yes.
You walk through. What are those?
So we're talking about frustration. A lot of times that's what you're doing and how does it align with the plan you said you would do. And chances are there's some places where that doesn't line up.
Because life happens.
Yes.
And it's like things, it's not going to go perfect.
Yeah. So I'll help you close that gap. Fear is a big one, right? We're doing all this sacrifice, but we don't know if it's going to be worth it on the other side.
Yes.
So there's a big fear there. A lot of us have never seen someone who's debt free. We've never known a millionaire. No one in our family has ever paid for college in cash. So there's this fear of, will this actually work? And is it going to be worth the sacrifice? What's it going to feel like to sacrifice at this level? There's a lot of unknowns. And where there's unknown, there's always fear, right?
Yes.
The next one's anger. Like I said before, there's a lot that we didn't cause, but we're sitting here dealing with it, whether it's external factors like the government or what our parents did or how we were brought up or the neighborhood we're in, social demographics, all of that, we experience that, and that causes a lot of anger financially.
Yes.
After that, guilt and shame, right?
Yep.
How many of us have done things
Yep.
that not only affect us, but affect the people around us? It plays out with our spouses. It plays out with our children.
Yeah.
And that's hard to carry, and it's hard to find forgiveness, and it's hard to get through that. And so that's a big one. And then pity. Self-pity, Rachel, when you're looking at yourself and then you're looking at seemingly the lifestyle that everybody else has, it's woe is me.
Yes.
I can't believe this is happening to me. And it can be so difficult to get out of that. But I teach people that if they can focus on generosity, you can't be pitiful and generous at the same time.
100%.
It's almost impossible.
Yes.
So walking through that and then hopefully getting to the point of acceptance. It's like, I liken it to running a marathon. My husband and I ran a marathon last year at this time of year, and I had put it off for almost a decade. It was something I wanted to do, never did it.
Yeah, full marathon.
Full marathon, yes.
Jade, God bless you.
But part of that is understanding, okay, I'm going to have to go through this training.
Yes.
It's going to get progressively difficult. It's every day.
Yeah.
There's no days off. And there comes a point where you go, if I can just accept this, I can do it.
Yes.
But if I keep fighting the process and getting hung up in my emotions, I'll never do it.
Yes.
And I truly learned that lesson. And paying off debt, getting on a plan with money, changing your financial future, it's the exact same way. It's the exact same process.
Yeah, that makes so much sense too. When my husband and I, we talked about this recently about a situation that came up. And he was like, I almost like attach my emotions to the thing that's not happening. And I want this to happen. And the fact that it's not happening, probably the self-pity, right? All of this. And I'm like, yeah, to be present and to just accept the reality that's in front of you. Make that your new norm.
Yes, today.
But it's so easy to do that, right? Whether it's money or other things where you can like see something out there, attach your emotions to that when that's not your reality. And that does no good for anyone, right? You sit there in a cycle and you're like, oh my gosh, like why am I still in this? But that acceptance, that last one, that's good. That's so smart. So smart. Teaching your kids that Christmas means more than just gifts, that can be a little complicated. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about Minnow's Laugh and Grow Bible for Kids Christmas Special. And it is bringing the true meaning of Christmas to life for your kids. And Minnow has tons of Christian shows that your kids will love, plus a lot more fun Christmas content. And my favorite part is as a parent, I don't have to worry about what they're watching. Minnow is ad-free and full of biblical truth. So start your free 7-day trial today at gominnow.com. Use promo code Rachel for an additional $10 off an annual plan. That's gominnow.com, code Rachel. It's enrollment time for health insurance right now. And if healthcare costs are stressing you out, you are not alone. And you have Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is a biblical and budget-friendly alternative to insurance, and I am proud to recommend them. With CHM, you choose your provider, submit eligible bills online, and other believers help share the cost. Members have shared over $12 billion in health costs since CHM started almost 45 years ago. It's simple, affordable, and you can join anytime, not just during open enrollment. So go to chministries.org/budget to learn more. That's chministries.org/budget. Here's the rest of my conversation with Jade.
There's a part of it where I'm talking about this idea that we almost think that life is supposed to be fair, or that we're in competition with other people.
Yep.
And that is such a driver in our emotions. It's like, well, it seemed like it was so much easier for Bob, and Sally did it so fast. And it's like, hey, this is not a competition. In competitions, the playing field is level.
Yep.
You know, there's pieces that are put into place to say
there's a starting line for everyone that and that's not the reality.
And the terrain is the same, but life's not like that. Everybody's starting place is different. Totally. Some people start further ahead, some people start with less. But your finish line remains the same regardless if you want to cross it or not. It's still there waiting for you.
Totally. Do you feel like that's a controversial way of looking at life?
Definitely.
Like, do you think that you're like pushing like against something that you're like, because you believe it, because you've lived it? I mean, you're like, this is it, this is the reality. And so what do you do with that? Like, what do you say to someone that is maybe started further right? Because I mean, I think about myself, honestly, Jade, and I'm like, my parents made the mistakes that we didn't have to make. And because of that, and part of changing your family tree and all that we do at Ramsey, like, I'm kind of that second gen that did get a leg up, right? So what would you say to people like me that may feel like, oh my gosh, I feel bad, like, oh God, you know, like it could stir something. And then what would you say to the person that may be starting further behind the starting line, even because of life and whether it's family or whatnot? Like, what's like encouragement to both, regardless of where you're starting?
I think that's a really good point. I'd say the same thing. I'd say that no matter who you are, if there's something that you're trying to obtain, because you have goals too, right?
Totally.
The person who's, quote, further ahead has goals just like the person who's, quote, further behind, right? And so I would say for both people, hard work is hard. And that's the great equalizer, right? The fact that if you're going to set out to do something, you're going to have to embrace some form of endurance, no matter what it is. Right? And if you can embrace endurance, which is really just the ability to stick into something for a long time, even though it's difficult, even though it's tough, if you can embrace that, you will win. And when you do that, you do gain maturity over time. Right?
Totally.
Perseverance produces maturity. That's what the Bible tells us. And so it's the same for everybody. It's just, what is it in that season of life for you? For some people, it might be they're saving for their dream home because they're at that stage. For another person, it could be, I'm saving $1,000 for the very first time.
That's right.
But both of those people are going to have to embrace, this is going to take a while. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not tomorrow, right? Anything that's worth doing is going to be worth the sacrifice of actually obtaining it. And so that's the great equalizer.
And that suffering knows no bounds. Right? Like, regardless of where you're starting. And so whether it's suffering in life or loss of a relationship or marriage, I mean, you know, job, like, put life in it and it's going to happen. But if there's a part of your life that you can somewhat get behind, which is why I love you wrote this book, is like that you can know yourself during it. You can know what's going on within you, those emotions and what's happening, and actually have this like longevity through this journey, because it's a long journey, like what you're saying. So I love that. That's so good. So good. Okay, so what did Sam think about this? I'm so curious because you guys were like paired so closely in this journey, and I know he's in like obviously a lot of the stories and stuff.
Sam was reading every word. So like after every chapter, he'd be like, I want to read it. I want to read it. And so of course for him, I think that it feels just as much like his book as it feels like my book. Because like I said, it's so story driven, and I had to ask him permission several times of, can I share this? Because we were so intertwined. I mean, anybody who's ever tried to accomplish a goal with their spouse, you know, you have to be on the same page. You have to, there's just like that intimacy that takes place. And so certain of the emotions hit harder for him. And I was like, can I share this story? And he's, yes. So, and then some of the emotions hit harder for me, and I had to dig deep and share stories about myself. So he, you know, he's a great supporter. So he's, in many ways, he's probably more excited than I am, because he's just like, he's my number one fan.
So good. Oh, so great. Well, Jay, thanks so much for coming on and talking about this. I think it's such an important part of money that, it's so crucial, I think, to the whole journey as people, to be a whole person through it all. Yeah, so appreciate it. Okay, where can everyone find you, get the book, all the things?
Yeah, so go to RamseySolutions.com if you want to order the book. The pre-order is until January 6th, so make sure to do that. And if you do pre-order, you get tons of bonus items. Rachel, one of the things I'm doing is a 3-week book club where we're going through some of the key areas in this book to really help you get and overcome it. So I'm excited about that. And we do a financial checkup, and I'll walk you through it point by point to really help you get on track with your money and work through the emotions in that process.
So good, Jade. Oh, amazing. Yep. You guys make sure to check out everything, and can't wait.
I'm excited.
You guys, run, don't walk, and pre-order Jade's new book, What No One Tells You About Money, at RamseySolutions.com. And if you order the book before January 6th, then you will get over $100 worth of free bonus items. Make sure that you do this because it's really easy to get all these extras, and I'll leave a link down below for you to pre-order the book today. And for a quick hit of money education, check out my episode, The Masterclass on Financial Literacy in 8 Minutes. You can click right here, or if you're listening on podcast, click the link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. All right, for a while now, stealth wealth and quiet luxury, they have been trending. And to reach that level of true financial peace, it is all about daily routines. So today, I'm going to be sharing 5 simple habits quiet millionaires swear by, and you can apply these to your life and your money. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, let's jump in, you guys. Quiet millionaire habit number 1. They live by the pause rule. Meaning impulse purchases or non-essential purchases can be especially deadly when you're starting to have room in your budget, because you're like, oh, look at all this. I can get that and buy this and do this, all this. But listen, if you pause before you make purchases, especially large purchases, just wait. Just sleep on it 24 hours. Or even if it's a really big purchase, wait a week or even a month and see if you still want it. Because it is amazing how much our emotions drive how we spend money and what we spend money on. And so really letting those die down so that you can make more logical decisions. That's why we can $15 ourselves to death, right? I mean, it's just like here. And then you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, I've spent hundreds of dollars. How has this happened? So not to live with impulse spending is so key, and millionaires live like that. So that is a habit to take with you. All right, habit number 2 is to track your spending every single day. So this is not about restriction, but this is about awareness and intentionality, because millionaires didn't become millionaires overnight, right? Or it just happened. They happened to look in their account one day and look at all this money. No, they knew where their money was going. They had a plan for it. And budgeting is one of those tools to help you take your income and be purposeful with it, because people think, well, if I reach a certain net worth, it's not that big of a deal. But listen, managing your money needs to be consistent. Now, you don't probably have to nickel and dime yourself. Obviously, when you're a millionaire, you can have a lot more flexibility, and that's fine. But the stricter you are with knowing and the more disciplined you are with where your money's going, the more progress you're going to see. And so if you need help with that, the EveryDollar app is one of my favorite apps to track my spending with and to look at all of my financial goals and where my income is going. Winston and I use it. We love it. So make sure to check out EveryDollar. All right, habit number 3 is to practice gratitude in big and small ways. So it's not just the dollars and cents that you are dealing with when it comes to money, but there's something overall when it comes to your character and who you are as a person that can help sustain when you build wealth, sustain yourself and your money, because money can get a bad rap. People look at, people that are wealthy and they're like, oh my gosh, they're jerks, right? It's kind of that stereotype. But the truth is, money didn't make them jerks. No, there's part of them in there that was already there, and money magnified that. So working on yourself and knowing your character and who you are as a person through this process is huge. That is why gratitude is massive, you guys, because gratitude leads into humility. Humility leads into contentment. And these are all elements of who you are as a person that is going to be crucial to sustain a level of peace and joy in your life. And so contentment is key. And you can do this. You can do this gratitude by, small ways. I mean, honestly, there's like a level of consciousness of just being aware and knowing the areas of your life that you're grateful for. Some people, they do like a gratitude list. But again, it's all about being mindful, being aware of the things in your life, because we can go through a day and focus on all the bad constantly. But there's something about this gratitude and making it a habit that is so, so key. All right, one thing I am genuinely thankful for is companies that exist to protect you and your family. And that is why I love Delete Me. If you do not remove your personal data from the internet, it's basically like a billboard for everyone to see, because your name, your address, your email, even your kids' names are out there on sketchy data broker websites. And then those data brokers will then take your data, sell it, and that puts you at risk for scams and fraud. But the good news is Delete Me removes your data and helps protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Winston and I use Delete Me, and it saves us so much time and worry. So you guys, your family's safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So sign up for Delete Me and take control. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly costs to under $9, or just click the link in the description. All right, quiet millionaire habit number 4 is to learn something new every day. Now, this feels like a really big, lofty goal, but can I just tell you, continue to be a learner. Continue to realize, I may not have all the answers, right? The way of what I think about something, I don't know, may not be the only way or the right way. Continue to live your life with an open hand and listen and learn. And this could be from people, books, articles, podcasts. There is something about using your brain and taking in information that you've never known before, being able to have the discernment to sift through it and be like, do I want to take that with me or not? And this could be everything from personal growth, financial growth, spiritual growth, physical, anything out there in the world. Continue to learn, because what that does is that puts you in a habit of constantly be listening and learning from people. And I'm telling you, things are changing constantly in the world. And while the principles of money, like we talk about here, pretty much haven't changed in decades, because they work, they're common sense principles that we can lean on, but to be able to learn from other people and things that they have done. And if there's someone out there that you're like, I want to be like them, whether that's someone who's a great parent, or it's someone that, from a health perspective, you're like, ooh, they feel like they have a lot of peace in their life around this, or marriage. It could be any area of life, okay? Any area, but someone that is a little bit further ahead than you and is doing something and getting results in an area of life that you're like, that's what I want. Listen to them, okay? And so when it comes to personal finance, people that have built wealth and have done it the right way and that aren't horrible people, right? That are very normal, quiet millionaires. They're like, wow, there's a level of humility about them, but yet they've done really well financially. What are they doing? Be listening to them. We talk about people like this all the time in the Baby Steps Millionaires book, so you can grab that copy. We'll put a link down below, but that is a great resource. But honestly, be learning, constantly be learning. Habit number 5 of quiet millionaires is to stick to a routine. So consistency is your friend. Keep things simple and it will help you be productive. And it might kind of sound boring to be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same thing. But listen, life is chaotic. And when there is something that you just know works, that you can go back to, that consistency allows you to have some peace and a plan in your life. And it helps you when it comes to the micro decisions throughout your day, because you're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I can go back to. And so there's something really powerful in that. All right, now that we've gone through the entire list, think through some habits that you're like, oh yeah, that would be good to start. Maybe just start with one. Don't start with all of them. Don't be overwhelmed by it. But continuing to change and to learn is how you're going to get different results, especially if you're not content or happy with the results you're getting right now. And, big wins, they don't happen overnight. They take a while. And so remember, these habits are a part of your routine in your life. And that is what I love, is they almost become subconscious. Now, some of them have that gold stamp of approval for sure. But if you don't know about the 10 habits that scream, I'm trying to look wealthy, you can click right here to check out that episode. Or if you're listening on podcast, I'll put a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys, have you ever been tempted just not to take investing so seriously? Okay, listen, go with me for a second. Most of us can recognize that saving for retirement is very important, but if you're anything like me, investing 15% month after month, year after year, decade after decade can start to feel a little redundant. And I was just talking about this on Smart Money Happy Hour the other day because I was like, well, what if I just took a year off? You know, would it be that big of a deal? Come on. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Okay, because here's the thing, is that you won't fully experience, though, the benefits of investing till later in life. And so sometimes it feels like you're just throwing your money into a black hole and you're never going to see it again. But deep down, of course, we know we got to stay on track, okay? The consistency is what is really key when it comes to investing. And investing in retirement is the ultimate example of delayed gratification. But it is hard to commit to anything if you don't know the why behind it. So today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why you should stay on the investment roller coaster ride. Because investing is like this. It is up and down, but you stay on that ride. So there was a guy that called into the Ramsey Show and he was asking if he could cash out his Roth IRA to pay off his loans. And his argument is that he wouldn't be taxed or penalized. And because of that, it felt like a reasonable thing to do, you know, to get yourself out of debt. And honestly, I get the urge to want to pay off debt as quickly as possible because you don't want to live in this chaos and stress anymore. You know, you really want to handle it immediately. But it's so important to understand that the money that you set aside for retirement will only reach its maximum potential for growth if you leave it untouched. And listen, I love to lean into the gray areas of life, but this one is kind of a black and white issue. You should never dip into retirement savings early, and there's really 3 main reasons for this. Before I explain that, I want to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable, and that's Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider that you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. And with no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. So find out more at chministries.org/budget. All right, the first reason that you should never get off the investing roller coaster is because no one can predict the trajectory of the market. So don't let your amateur investor bros on the internet convince you to play the game and you can hack the system and time the market. You're not supposed to constantly be checking every little movement of the market and pivot because of it. Most of investing, you guys, majority of it is for a long period of time. So you don't go and watch the news and just see, oh my gosh, well, today it's this, tomorrow it's that. Oh my gosh, what are this, that? No, investing is for the long term. Slow and steady wins the race. Think about a crock pot versus a microwave. And the earlier you start this and the more consistent you are, the better off you're going to be. So don't let tiny trends or, growth or loss day to day throw you off, okay? Just trust the process and recognize that your investments need time to develop and grow. So whether you've had a 401k for years or you're a total beginner, one of the best tricks that I think is important when it comes to investing is working with a professional. So I will leave a link for you to connect with a pro so that you can really have peace of mind when it comes to all these details. So write it out. Now, I will say if you sit down with your financial advisor and they're like, hey, this one fund over the last 5 years, it's not really doing great, but these over here, and maybe you change your strategy within it, which is fine, and that's great to do. But don't let just that day-to-day, of what the market's doing, throw you off, and don't jump off the roller coaster. Stay on. All right, the second reason to stay on the investment roller coaster is to avoid unnecessary taxes and penalties. So first of all, investments aren't there to replace your everyday savings. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But second, taking your money from your investments specifically, whether it's a Roth or a 401k, specifically for retirement, will result in taxes and fees and penalties. So for example, if you draw money from your 401k too early, there's a 10% penalty plus the taxes on whatever that you've taken out. And the IRS usually withholds 20% automatically. Now with a traditional IRA, if you withdraw that money before you're 59 and a half, you get another 10% penalty plus federal and state income tax on the amount that you've taken out. And just know, you guys, taking money out of things like a Roth IRA or a 401k, you are unplugging compound interest, which is not good. Okay, we do not want that. Now, if you need money, this is why you need an emergency fund. This is where you have cash available to you sitting in a high yield savings account, okay? You want 3 to 6 months of expenses. So when something comes up, you don't have to go and dip into your investments or your retirement, which again is going to take you off the train. You have cash to be able to do that. And again, you want to be able to stay on that investment train as long as possible. So that is why having money in an emergency fund is so key. All right, the third reason to stay on the investment roller coaster is compound interest. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but you guys, this is the most powerful way mathematically to build wealth. Compound interest just means that your earnings compound over time. So let's run some numbers with the Ramsey investment calculator, shall we? Let's say you start investing $200 a month when you graduate college at 22 and you retire at 65. With an annual return of 10%, you would have over $1.7 million in investments, even though you only contributed about $100,000 of your own money in those 43 years. That's $1.6 million of free money, you guys. I mean, it's crazy. So what happens is you put your money in, so your $200, you make 10% on that. Well, the next year, you put $200 more in, and you're not making interest on just what you put in. You're going to make it on the interest that you got the year before as well. So what happens, again, that compounding is what is so key. Or maybe you started a little bit later, and so now you're contributing a higher amount every month. So let's say that you invested $800 a month, starting from age 30 and all the way to 65. You're going to have over $3 million in those accounts. And that means you only put in $336,000. I mean, it's crazy, you guys. The momentum is insane. And you basically, if you get off that investment roller coaster, you interrupt that flow and that growth by cashing out money early. So don't stay in, play the long game, and just picture of like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so bougie at retirement and it's going to be great because you're going to have money to live that bougie lifestyle, which is wonderful. And investing really is a proof that slow and steady wins the race. And the earlier you can start, the better off you're going to be. I am a fan of investing. Do it, you guys. It is like one of the best things that you can do with your money. Let your interest work for you. So make sure to check out my episode all about investing for total beginners. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. This one goes out to all my overachievers out there. Even if you feel confident with the basics of wealth building, there may be some areas that you're overlooking. So today we're going to unpack some of the common things that people tend to overlook when trying to build wealth. Now make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, let's jump in. We're going to go right to the list, y'all, which I love. Number 1, you may be overlooking if you have savings but still carry debt. So this happens a lot. So people will call into the Ramsey Show and they're like, hey, we have $13,000 of debt and we're going to start working our way out. And we're like, great. Do you have any savings? And they're like, yeah, we got $6,000 over here. And we're like, well, good. Let's throw $5,000 at the debt and get this started. Because here's the thing. Your debt is costing you. And people have this mindset of like, I want to have a ton of money in savings before I start paying off debt because $1,000, which is what we teach as your starter emergency fund, it's not enough, all of us. And what we find is it takes so long to build up that savings that you never really make traction on the thing that's actually eating away your income, which is your debt. Like you are paying interest on these things when you're paying debt. So it's not only the payment, but it's everything on top of it. And when you can get that done as fast as possible, then you can start building up big savings. So that $1,000 emergency fund, it's there. It can feel very uncomfortable, I get, for a lot of people. But if something big happens, pause your debt snowball and everything that you were momentally putting towards your debt. Use that for the emergency that you have, right? If you need more money than $1,000, you can get to it. And usually for anything that is above $1,000, you'll get a bill. You'll have probably a month or two to pay for it. So you can figure out ways, around it to cash flow it. But this idea of like, oh, I just want to keep a bunch of savings, that is costing you. Number 2, your emergency savings is in a regular checking account. So listen, y'all, move it. Because when you log into your checking account, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, we have all this money. And if we need to use a little here or there, there's like It's easy. It's just all right there, right? It's the same account that you're emotionally used to spending out of. So what I want you to do is I want you to move it to a high yield savings account. Usually an online bank is great for this. Fairwinds is a great credit union that you can put your money there. But this idea of having your money in a separate account emotionally kind of separates it. So to get to it, I want you to be able to, I want you to have a card associated with that account, because if you got to use your emergency fund, you want to be able to use it. You don't want it in an investment somewhere that you can't get to. But also you want a little bit more friction than just your everyday checking account. All right, number 3, your house payment exceeds 25% of your monthly pay. So owning a home, it is a big goal. It is a massive accomplishment when you get to do that. But if you're spending up to 30, 40, 50% of your income just to maintain a mortgage, you do not have enough money left in your budget, in your income, to do the other things in life that you need to do. And so what we find is so often people will get a house beyond that 25%. And then what's hard is, you think about it, you got to, invest, you want to give, there's other things you want to be doing with money, not just paying a massive mortgage payment. So that either means, one, it's going to take you longer to save up for a house so that your mortgage payment is less than if you went in with not a lot of money down. So maybe it takes a little bit longer to save. Maybe it's your expectation of the actual house or the area that you want to live. Maybe that looks different than what you want in order to get into the market. But again, I know 25% can feel really conservative for a lot of people, and a lot of people complain about this with us. But again, when it is in control, and if your income's going up and it's 28%, you're like, yeah, but I'm getting a raise in the next year or two. There's workarounds to it, but sticking to that 25% mentality is going to keep you in a range that is wise and safe and give you enough margin to do other things with your money that are really important. Number 4, you give in to lifestyle creep with every raise. This happens all the time, y'all. You're working and working, you're used to living on this income, and then you get a bump. And you're like, oh, well, then I get this much more a month. That's great. I can spend that here. And then the next year that happens and you spend the bump again, and you just keep moving up in lifestyle. And that is lifestyle creep to the T, versus saying, hey, I'm going to stay at a lifestyle that I have. Now, if I am earning more money, yes, can I take some of that and use it, for my good and for what I want? Absolutely. But we're also going to be wise with the other part, that we're not going to just continue to spend the raise. We're going to invest it. We're going to give it. We're going to do other things that are beneficial to us and our future selves, not just in the moment. All right, more of this list in a minute. But first, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Delete Me. Because if you don't remove your personal data from the internet, your name, address, email, even your kids' names are out there on sketchy data broker websites. And data brokers collect your data, sell it, and that puts you at risk for scams and fraud. But the good news is Delete Me removes your data and helps protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Winston and I use Delete Me, and it saves us so much time and worry. So protect your family's privacy and safety by signing up for Delete Me. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly cost to under $9, or just click the link in the description. All right, number 5, credit card payments rob your monthly budget. Y'all, the credit card, we can go round and around with this, but here's the truth. And it has been proven that you end up spending more when you spend with a credit card, because emotionally, it's not your money that you're spending. And you continue to live in the past. When that bill comes and you have to pay it, everything is already experienced, versus in the moment, when you pay for it in the moment, it's done. You don't have to worry about a payment. You don't have to worry about a bill. It's done. And then what happens is people are like, well, I'll have it, but I won't go in debt. I'll pay it off every month. And then it creeps and creeps and creeps. And then we talk to people on the regular, tens of thousands of dollars of credit card debt. And then the interest rates on these, y'all, are insane. It's disgusting. It's horrible. So it is a bad financial habit to be in. Just pay in the moment with your own money. And I promise you will love it. And if you need help, creating a budget and knowing, hey, do I have money in the moment to spend? Check out EveryDollar. It's an amazing budgeting app. It's my favorite tool when it comes to your money. We'll put a link down below. All right, number 6 is invest less than 15% in retirement. So when a lot of people start off, they're working, they're really excited because, they're maybe got their first job and they sign up for their 401k plan and their company matches 4%. And they're like, great, I'll invest 4% and get the match. And then that's all they do. And that's how they live their lives for a long time. So I want you to go beyond that. I want you investing 15% of your income. Now, this is after you are debt-free with a fully funded emergency fund, because that 15% is going to set you up for a great retirement. And that can be through your company's 401k or a Roth IRA, but being able to invest a good amount of money, a good amount of your paycheck for the future is really important. Number 7, you don't prioritize generosity. So this is often overlooked, and it can be because you don't feel like you have a lot of money to give. It could be you're just not in the habit of it. You don't think about it. But giving is one of those crucial money principles that's not just good for the world, but it also changes who you are. And there's something about living life where money is not such this factor where we control every bit of it and we just live our lives like this, because that doesn't bring peace. That does not bring peace to you. And so living your life with an open hand is something, again, that is going to be a blessing for people, but also for yourself and what it changes within you. And I think it's just kind of like, it's kind of the antidote. It's like the preventative side of living in a world of like stuff and consumerism and like, I just want to get this to be happy. Like all of that starts to really chip away when you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a generous person and I'm going to give. And that could look like your time as well, right? There's other ways to give, but with your money, it's a big step for a lot of people. So I always encourage people to give a little until you can give a lot. All right, this is just the beginning of all the things that you need to be aware of. So I want you to check out my episode, 6 Money Hacks You Should Never Trust, because they're traps. So you can click right here, or if you're listening on podcast, I'll put a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. So most of us have people in our lives that always seem to be a level ahead when it comes to building wealth and being financially responsible. So we have this over here. And then we also have technology over here, something called ChatGPT. So what do these two things have in common? Well, you're about to find out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. So we went to ChatGPT to compile a list of habits that people who never overspend swear by. And y'all, I gotta tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. It gave me a list, so I thought it would be fun. Because I went through the list, y'all, and I was like, oh my gosh, I like agree with like all of these. And so I want to know from you if you agree with them. But here's literally what it said, and I love it. So number 1, they know their why. Yes and amen. So meaning they know why they're doing something with their money, their motivation. If they're in a season of sacrifice, they know why, they're sacrificing because they have a bigger goal. If they want to get out of debt, they know, okay, why do we want to get out of debt? When they're giving and being generous, they know why, because they want to change their family tree. I mean, like they are so motivated by the underneath level, if you will, when it comes to their money, not just always like the numbers and stuff. So that can motivate you for a little bit. But if you don't have that why, when things that are hard in life hit you financially, that why is what carries you through most of it. And so when that came up at number 1, I thought, yes. All right, number 2, they intentionally track their spending. Okay, y'all, I did not make this up. And I don't think my ChatGPT knows it's like me, Rachel Cruze, that like does this. So when it said this, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So it is true, because people don't mindlessly just like, spend all the time whenever. Like they really do know what they're spending. And when they spend it, they actually keep track of it. Like it's not just like in their head. They don't have something in their head that they're just like, okay, I'll figure this out here. No. They're very intentional, and it is incredible. Now, when you track your spending, you can still enjoy it, right? Like that's the purpose of it all. But I agree with this point 100%. All right, number 3, they budget on purpose. There's that budgeting thing. Yeah, so it's not just tracking spending, but they budget. They know where their money's going, which is such a key factor, you guys, of winning with money. Regardless of where you are financially, you need to have a plan with your income. You need to know where it's going, because when you file taxes every year, I don't want you to look at that number and be like, holy crap, I made what? Where is it? Like, where did it all go? That you know exactly the job your income had when it hit your account, and you know what's going on. Now, if you need a great budgeting app, Every Dollar is wonderful. Make sure to check it out. Number 4, they limit credit card use. All right. limit, I'd say completely do away with, if this is my list. They don't use credit cards. But this idea that they're not going to depend on other people's money to live their lives. And when you stop that and you actually live in the present and you use cash or your debit card or Apple Pay with your debit card, whatever it is, and you are actually in the moment, it is incredible that once that purchase is made, you're done. You're done. You're not waiting on some bill to pay everything later. Like, you can continue to look through the windshield of your financial life. And that's what I love. You just have full control, full autonomy, and that credit cards and banks aren't part of your life. All right, speaking of banks and all of that, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors who offers incredible support as you work the Ramsey plan. Fairwinds. Y'all, when you are in the baby steps, your bank shouldn't be working against you. That's why I love Fairwinds Credit Union. They share Ramsey values like getting out of debt, saving for the future, and putting people first. Their smart checking and savings bundle was designed to line up with the baby steps. When you are ready to move your money somewhere that supports your financial goals, Fairwinds is what you've been looking for. Head to fairwinds.org/Ramsey to open your smart checking and savings bundle today. And also another incredible sponsor that we have is Christian Healthcare Ministries. And they really do help enhance your experience with healthcare coverage. More than 100 million Americans carry medical debt, which shows that traditional coverage is often leaving people with a big bill to face alone. So families need more than coverage. They need community. That's why I love Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is a budget-friendly, faith-based alternative to health insurance, and they've paid over $12 billion in medical bills. I mean, that is faith in action. With CHM, there are no networks, no insurance headaches, and programs start at just $98 a month. Y'all, CHM is where your faith and your finances agree. So go to chministries.org/budget and learn more today. All right, back to our list. Number 5, they delay gratification. Yes and amen. Y'all, instant gratification is killing us. Like, when we see something we want and we just go buy it, we don't think about it, we don't look at our budget, we don't do any of that, we just do it. When that is your life, you end up spending so much money. But delayed gratification shows a level of maturity where you can walk away from a purchase, sleep on it, see if you still want it a day or two later, and then you can go back and buy it. But this is a major perk to win financially. Number 6, they reduce decision fatigue. So the more routines that someone has when it comes to their money, the less kind of impulsive that they're going to be. And so there's like less impromptu shopping trips and all of this because they kind of have this rhythm in place. And I like that. I think that's great. Now, I can be type B at times where I'm like, let's just have some fun and be spontaneous. So you still want part of that in your life. I think that creates some fun. But when you have routines and you know what's going on, like, okay, I check every dollar every morning and I track transactions. I meet with my spouse every month, once a month before the month begins to do our budget. We give on this date. Our tithe goes out from our account to the church this day. I mean, like, when you have routines in place, it really does help. All right, number 7, they actively practice gratitude. Yes, it is incredible when you realize that stuff isn't the thing that's just going to bring on more happiness. It's just not. But when you are so mindful and grateful for what you already have, there is gratitude, there is contentment, and all of that. So the fact that this was on the list, chef's kiss. Is that what the kids say? Yeah, I love it. Number 8, they stay off autopilot. So subscriptions, apps, all of that, they try to put friction in these purchases. And so, yeah, I mean, I would say with some of this, I really appreciate. I don't like always the savings autopilot. Like, some people are like, I just put my savings on autopilot. There's a part of me that I'm like, no. Do it actually so you can feel it happening, and you may want to be saving more, or maybe you need to save less. Like, I don't know. There's something about actually going in and doing it. But then also there are things that I think is okay just to be on an auto basis too, right? Like, I don't think that's bad. I think that'd be very convenient and to make sure that you're not late on things too. So there's a balance there. Number 9, they regularly unfollow and unplug. So they use social media, but they actively unfollow people who tempt them into comparison or jealousy. They also pay it forward and gut check their motivation with their own posts. So the way they use social media, the way they kind of think about it is in a really healthy way. So I appreciate that. Number 10, they recognize patterns. So if you have tendencies where you start to see, okay, if I'm bored or insecure or I'm busy, and that's a trigger for me to spend, right? Or you notice like, okay, here's when I do these things that are maybe unhealthy with money or even comparison. Maybe it's a heart thing. And these are the situations that comes up in. They notice that pattern throughout their lives. And that is a really great gut check to know like, okay, here is what I do and why I do it. And then always know you can create new patterns, right? Instead of being stressed and going and spending, you can go on a walk, right? Go and hang out with a friend, journal, like do something, read, like do something else that's better for you than just staying in an unhealthy pattern. So the fact that this list came from ChatGPT, y'all, I mean, I love it. I mean, I think it was so great. I so appreciated it. And I do think it's really factual. So some of these things are more habits, more heart-based. Some are a little bit more tactical. But putting things in place, you guys, to help you win financially is what I want for you. Now, if you want some of my personal tips, not just off ChatGPT, be sure to check out my honest advice to someone who wants financial freedom. You can click here to watch that. Or if you're listening on podcast, you can click the link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So when it comes to winning with money and building wealth, it is a journey. And a lot of us don't get there overnight. So today I'm going to talk about the 7 stages of wealth building that I consistently see people that are struggling with their money going from struggling to a lot of peace and control and ultimately building wealth. And as we go through each of these steps, you can actually see where you are in your wealth building journey. But first, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the money content that you need in your life. All right, the first stage of wealth building is really at ground level. So the very first thing you're going to do is make sure you have $1,000 in the bank. And this is your starter emergency fund. And why you want to start there is because for some people, maybe they have $1,000, but for 40% of Americans that can't cover a $400 emergency in cash, this is a great place to start. And in fact, Ramsey Solutions research found that only about half of Americans have $1,000 in savings. So 1/3 of Americans don't have any savings at all. So again, we see all these stats knowing that even for $1,000 for a lot of people is a really big win. And so you want to have that first step be attainable, and you want that first step to have a level of importance that's really crucial, because if things come up throughout the next couple of steps, you can always go back to that emergency fund, take money out if something were to happen so you don't go deeper in debt. Now, I want you to remember the key word here is starter. So these starter emergency funds, you're going to build it up later when we get to baby step 3. But for now, baby step 1 is a $1,000 emergency fund. Baby step 2, you're going to start getting out of debt. So you're going to list out all of your debts, smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate, pay minimum payments on everything, and pay off that smallest debt first. And what's really powerful about this is you're, again, getting some quick wins. So that $1,000 emergency fund, that's your first check. You feel good. You're doing something. You've made a goal. You accomplished it. And then when you pay off that first smallest debt in baby step 2, it does something to your confidence. It reminds you that you can make progress with your money. Now, once that is paid off, you're going to take all the payments you're paying on that smallest debt, roll it over to the second smallest debt. And once that's paid off, you have freed up the minimum payments of the smallest debt and the second smallest debt. All of that rolls to the third smallest debt. So it just keeps compounding, and you're able to get out of debt that much faster. And when you are debt free, it's amazing because your income is all yours. Then you get to decide what to do with it. You get to decide if you want to give it, save it, spend it, invest it. You have power again, versus when you have all of these payments from, car loans and student loans and personal loans and HELOCs and all of these payments going out, your income then is working for other people and other banks and not yourself. So getting out of debt is really, really crucial. Now, Financial Peace University, FPU, is an amazing tool to help you through this process. And a lot of people on baby step 2 go through FPU because it is our 9-lesson course that helps you understand how to handle your money, and specifically how to be debt-free and how to live debt-free. Because when you don't have any consumer debt in your life, then you get to move on to baby step 3. And that is where you're going to take your starter emergency fund of $1,000 and bump it up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And so what is great about this part is you have no payments, and you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in the bank. So when things come up, then you are able to cover so many of life's unexpected issues that are thrown at you with that fully funded emergency fund. And this can be from anything from a medical scare to a job loss. And when you get to this point, you find a lot of peace because you don't have payments and you have a lot of money saved, which is so great. Now, once that is complete, you're going to move on to baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and you're going to do these together. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about a headline that I saw recently that blew my mind. 1/3 of the U.S. population's background info is now public. So for 115 million of us, data breaches mean that our info is out there for anyone to find. And this is like our names and addresses and phone numbers and so much more. So that is why I love Delete Me, because they go in and they remove your information from hundreds of data broker websites that buy, sell, and trade your personal data. So take control of your online privacy with Delete Me. Individual Delete Me plans start as low as $9 a month. So sign up today at joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, or click the link in the description. All right, baby step 4 is funding 15% of your income into retirement. So this is going to look like Roth IRAs, 401ks, 403bs. So just take 15% of your income and you want to put it in retirement accounts. Now, what's great about these specific retirement accounts is they have tax advantages to them, because things like the Roth IRA, and if you have a Roth 401k, then you are able to take money out when you get to 59 and a half years old, and the growth on that account is not taxed, which is huge, you guys. So again, when it comes to investing, remember, match beats Roth beats traditional. So if you have a 401k at work or a 403b and your employer matches, go ahead and go up to their match, then take the rest of your money over to a Roth IRA and max it out. And if you do max it out and you still have 15% of your income left, go back to your 401k or 403b and put more money in. But that 15% going to those tax advantage accounts, like retirement accounts, is so huge and so great. So when you're doing that, if you have kids, you also want to do some investing for them. So when it comes to their college and education, you want to start saving for them. So opening up a 529 account or an ESA, which is an educational savings account, are great places to start, because when you are able, if you are able at this step to help your kids go to college at any financial level, that is such a gift, because so many college students take out debt. They go through college and then they start off their financial lives in a hole that they're having to climb out of. And again, we just see this whole world of education that people just feel emotionally detached in a sense, because people pick out-of-state schools or private schools and they go to expensive institutions when they don't have the money. And so they're deeper and deeper in the financial hole. So if you don't have money saved and your kids are looking to go to college anytime soon, things like a gap year is great to save up and cash flow their college after that. Even them going to a community college for a year or two. So there's ways to still get an education and be wise about it. But if you have young kids, again, being able to save for their college early on is really huge. And these are investments, so that means that they are going to grow over time, which again is a great place to put your money. Now, after you do that, so you have 15% of your income going to retirement. If you have kids, you put a little bit in some college funds. If you have any extra margin, then we recommend throwing it at your mortgage. So getting your house paid off is baby step 6. And this is the big one, okay? This takes on average, people that are doing this plan, on average 9 years. Now, the average American has a monthly mortgage of almost $1,775. So if you could imagine that being freed up, which is usually the most expensive line item in people's budget is their housing, whether it's rent or a mortgage. It's incredible to think that you could take that money and give it, invest it, spend it. I mean, it frees up so much, and you just own your house free and clear. And when you don't have debts and you don't have a bank telling you what to do with your income, again, you have more options and you have more freedom. But like we said at the beginning of this is a journey. Okay. It takes a while. And again, on average, just that one step is 9 years. So you want to enjoy your life during this time, but any extra money you can throw at your mortgage is incredible. Even if you throw an extra payment a year, you can pay your house off 4 years earlier. So if you were on a 30-year mortgage, then you pay it off in 26 years, right? I mean, and if you think about it, you keep making those kind of extra payments and you get it down so quickly, which is what we want for you. And then once your house is paid off, Then you move on to baby step 7, and that is where you build wealth and continue to be extremely generous. So this is a process and a system to put into place. But again, I love this idea because there are steps, there are guidelines, and you can actually follow something tactically when it comes to your money. Because if you want to reach your goals, having a system in place that helps you do that is really, really important. Okay, so as we've laid out all these steps, it's good for you to pinpoint kind of where you're at and maybe what the next step for you can be. Because again, forward progress is always important when it comes to your money. And this allows you to focus on one goal at a time, which again, I love because I want you to see progress with your money. So if you want to get started with this, one of the best things that you can do in all of these steps is to budget. That's because budgeting is going to help you tell your money what to do. So these steps are important, but the budget is the tactical tool that you're going to use every single month to actually get the extra income to throw at the debt. It's actually going to show you, hey, here's margin here. So you're going to use that to fund your baby step 1, maybe for that $1,000. So whatever it looks like, budgeting is so, so crucial. So I'll put a link to our every dollar budget down below so you can check that out. And if you're new to budgeting, or you want to see how I do it myself, then make sure to watch the next video where I show you how I would budget a $7,000 income per month. Or click the link in the show notes if you are listening on podcast. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.